Med beds are coming out. No, the cabal doesn't have all the gold. The gold's been stolen from them. We are, if you want to talk about the battlefront is in the central banks. That's the battlefront. That is in every central bank. If you look at all the ones, not the girls or the guys that are at the teller dealing with you, they're just little mushrooms. They're not being told anything. God knows I know, because I've been dealing with banks all my life. Yes, I'm 70 years old, and I do not smoke, I do not drink, I do not do drugs. I've been living in the bush, cutting timber most of my life. And when I wasn't doing that, I was a structural engineer in Japan, in the States, in the Philippines. I went to China. I've worked in South Korea, all in through Asia. And now I live, when I'm not living in Canada, I live in the Philippines, okay? Okay, so well, listen, everything, your vehicles and everything else, your license and everything else, eventually your license plate is tagged to you if you're a registered owner of that vehicle, okay? If you have a driver's license on you, you got a birth certificate, everything is your social insurance number, your healthcare number, that's all tied to who you are. Your straw man. That's your straw man. You have to step out and have a special identity that you can make up yourself. You can sit there and go like this. Put the camera like this, put your face in there, take your hat off, take your glasses off, and give yourself a frontal picture, and then take it over there to a printing shop and have some cards made up with your name that you want to put on there. Who gave you your name? It was your mom and dad give you your name. Was that your choice? No, it wasn't your choice. How do you know you were born then? That they told you were born then. But we've been going on a Gregorian whatever calendar, 12 months, 30, whatever stupid days they've got in there, and that's inside the 12 months. That's not what God has designed this whole system at. Their calendars is 28 days, 13 months, and it cycles with the woman's biological system. Everything correlates. That's why they're so messed up right now. How come I'm not due here and I'm not due? It's all inverted, messed up bullshit. Patriots, we have to do this. We have to all know the fact is we got to separate our straw man to our real sovereign being. You are a real sovereign being made through the image of God. Okay? From the first day you've come out into this crazy world, you have been shackled. You have been stamped. You have been poked. You've been whatever they want to call it. And isn't it time to stop the bullshit? Isn't it time to realize that without you being who you are, they have nothing. The more you play into their sandbox, the more you give them. We can't have that continue. It's bullshit. They are all corporate. This is the corporate, identity. Like that, your license, your picture, your birth certificate, that's corporate. You're in their corporate world, right? Okay, is Halloween the target thing to reverse the curse and the reset begins? Really, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything. You know, like all I'm saying is that the month of October is Red October. There's a lot of stuff going down. But you know, when we think about Halloween for the rats love this month because they are going around preparing and kidnapping and doing whatever they're doing, preparing for all their ritual bullshit on the 31st of October. While we all go out and celebrate with our little wee children, all dressed up in goblin suits, going around there and celebrating their rituals. That's how bad that is. And it's the same thing for this fake, false December 25th, which, you know, that wasn't, you know, Jesus' birthday. Easter, what's that another one? That's another ritual thing. I mean, they've got it so convoluted, so diluted with their bullshit, and people have to wake up to it, right? If we don't, we're just going to continue this this enslaved open world penitentiary. Yes, it's really me. Who else would it be? Look, white hair. Jesus, Murphy. You know, you're letting your imagination run away with your thoughts here, people. You know, I mean, here, I'll do something like this. Okay? This is what I'll do. Give me a second here. I'm just getting so much feedback from this here. Give me a second. Oh my God, where are we? Okay. Okay, give me a second here. Okay. Okay, there it is there. Okay. Can AI do that? Okay, stop it. Let's start getting with some reality here, okay? I'm trying to get advice out to people. My motivation is to get everybody on the same page, because then we are a navigational force against the machine. We are flesh and blood against the machine. We have so much more power than them. We are basically up against the NPCs, okay? We have the ability to take our money, put it in a canister, and bury it. We have the capability to go to any of the metals exchange places and buy the metals. What do you think is going to happen to the metals when they take the manipulation off? When the real Trump clobbers the banks? All I can say is that as humanity wakes up and starts taking their money out of the banks, there won't be any more money to give. Okay? I know that the patriots will change the law on the double standard and the stock market manipulation and the illegal practices that the banks are doing right now on the metals, because that's the only thing that's holding them up. Other than the dummies, you know, all this corporate bullshit going around here, they're depositing your money that you go to the grocery store and you buy all your food from them. They're banking it, bringing over a Brinks armored car, loading it all up and taking it into the bank, to the coffers. It's a big circle jerk, and you're right in the middle of it. I watched a video today of an actual counselor saying council will be merged by we all have to disconnect, okay, from the utter lies that are going on. When is everything going to flip? Well, when we all wake up. That's when everything's going to flip. I mean, I'm doing what I can to help wake up everybody. And if everybody that is on followed me, through the past, I mean, every time I get, a certain amount of people that are following me, I get kicked off, right? And then I have to go through the Philippines, through my woman down there to gather up another phone number so I can reactivate to stay on. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I've done 4 of them now. I should have 500,000 followers, but I don't. I don't because I get kicked off. Okay, so if you got any questions, is Canada the 51st state? Yeah. Yeah, we're already the 51st state. We're way, like a lot of the stuff that has been going on in the back rooms. They're basically, putting into law that was already in law before. Okay? Like Canada's always been part of the United States, along with other commonwealths. Okay? There was a connection with the Commonwealth to the monarchy in England, London, right? Or the UK at one time, but we had broken off on that based on the 1776 revolution, and Canada was a part of that, right? There was no border between on North America. There was no border there. So where we're at now is, every state had its own constitution. They were trying to, separate and divide. So everybody, there'd be, once you have this division and all you have to do is throw religion in there and some other laws and other bullshit in there, everybody start, having debates on and fighting, for what they believed in. And that's why we are in the mess we are in. We all have to unify and do things collectively because they know, if all these little ants, if they get up, they can take down a lion because there's that many ants, and they know that. I mean, you just see, if we all get going in one direction with our positive, energy and our frequency and our positive light, the capabilities we're going to be able to achieve. There's no end to it. The galactics are waiting for it. But this is all part of the learning process, is what's going on right now. So is it safe to buy is it safe to buy Dong from Wells Fargo? Yeah. Because you're buying it from a bank, right? And if they have it available, buy it. And if that's, obviously you're in the States, so you're getting 26,000 Dong to one of your American dollars. But let's get it really, really clear. The dollars are worthless. The Canadian dollar, the US dollar, the Hong Kong dollar, the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the English pound, the European euro, they're all gonna crater. There is no gold backing, no silver gold backing to them. And Trump knows this. Like the fake Trump that's out there, you think about it. Here's the whole scenario, what's going on. So the rats have got, 2 Trumps running around, right? And they'll hide him and they'll transport him, say, to another country or whatever, because they can post and make it, the back screen, all this other stuff, look like they're in downtown in the White House themselves. That's very easy to do. And they could be filming this stuff in Europe or in Africa or in South America, wherever a deep state stronghold is. They could be doing their own bullshit and throwing it out there into the mainstream media, because the mainstream media, they have control of as well. So, like I said, us normal people have to wake up to this I know it's not easy because, it's very, very hard to unlearn all the lies that you've been fed throughout your lifetime. And this is what I'm trying to do. There are people like myself out there, that did not buy into the bullshit at a very young age. Why did I, no, like when I was on the picket line when I was 17 years old in Vancouver, and Bennett's goons come and stomped all over us. Wasn't that a wake-up call? God was saying, it's time to wake up because you just got slapped around really good. And that woke me up then at 17 years old. I knew they were dirty at 17. So, that's 53 years ago. And so, throughout the time, you go into a dormant stage or whatever of learning and all this knowledge coming through, but you could see where all this is going. You could see that we're under attack. They got so worried and screwed up with everything because people are awake and waking more and more every day, that they had to come out with the Kool-Aid to really throw a jolt into everything, right? And to lock down everything. Trump did everything he could to stop that chaos. Any news on Canada? Well, the only fact is that in Canada, what's going to happen is, what we have to do, what we have to wait for is the banks to crash. That's what we have to wait for. Because when the banks crash, then we will know that we have won that war, the financial war. First, it was the operations in the subterraneans. Then it was the trafficking. Now it's the financial. And once the financial goes down, and that is the turning point at that point, because remember, patriots, the military controls the redemption centers. The rats control the banks. And you got all your money in the frickin' banks right now. It should be on your phone, and you should, and it should be on your phone at the redemption center through the QFS. That's what it should be. But why is it not? Well, because we're in an epic war right now. And there's still so many people that just haven't woken up yet. I'm trying to just get through. Thank you. We ignore the negative people. Well, that's good. You have to ignore the negative people. Those are the NPCs, or the controlled opposition that's trying to mess up your world. They are controlled and probably paid to agitate everything that's going on. And that's why I say ignore all this no king's protests and all this other bullshit, and the assassination attempt of Charlie Kirk, and that's all. It's all negative rhetoric that's there to help disturb your mind. There's nothing positive that ever could come out of that, right? And I think, quite frankly, that whole Charlie Kirk thing, that blew up in their face. And like I said, it's yes, save the children. That's why they went after the subterranean. That's all part of that trafficking operation that was going on. Trump said, like I said the other day, he said, in that news conference or whatever it was, I don't listen to Trump anymore, okay? But I hear, I listen to people that have listened to him, right? And apparently he said that, there's been 1.5 million Russians die in the Ukrainian war. No. Russia, back in 2020, whatever it was, 2019, knew that Ukraine was a Nazi stronghold, a satanic Nazi country, run by the Khazars, and run by the offshoot, break off Nazi society that went into Ukraine hiding in 1946, 47. That's the only place they could run, because the Hitler's inner circle, they faked his death and went on a slow boat cruise to Argentina, which they had built a Bavarian city up in the Alps there and kept it very, very quiet. They basically had to pay off Argentina to keep their mouth shut. And that was from all the tons and tons and tons of gold and silver and everything, all the artifacts that they stole from every country they invaded before the Allies were able to take them down. And I'm not talking about the American allies, I'm talking about the Russian allies. Okay? And, you know, this bullshit's been playing in Russia's backyard since 1946. In fact, it was even before that. Russia lost 29 million people, soldiers, men and women, fighting with old Kalashnikov guns. In those days, wasn't a Kalashnikov, it was some other Zig type rifle that they only had 5 bullets in their clip, and they had 2 soldiers for every gun. They said, when that first guy drops, you pick up the gun and you shoot. They had gone through millions of people. Putin knows all this. He knows the history of it all. And that was when Tucker went over there and he laid all these documents in front of Tucker. He says, take him. Learn your history. Putin's always been on our side.